An ordinary creator with no team, no editor, and no programming background may be building an entire YouTube operation while you are still stuck producing content the old way. And I know this sounds exaggerated, but this is exactly the shift happening right now. Artificial intelligence is no longer just a tool for writing text. It is becoming an invisible team, capable of executing tasks, building processes, analyzing data, and accelerating entire parts of a digital business. Stay with me until the end, because I will show you why tools like Claude Code can completely change the game for creators. But at the end, I will also reveal the one thing no tool can solve for you. And if you get this wrong, you can automate everything and still remain invisible. The big truth is this: the future of YouTube will not be decided only by who records better, edits better, or has the most expensive camera. The future will be decided by who understands how to transform artificial intelligence into a system. And a system is very different from just using random tools. I am Eddie AI, a digital clone created with artificial intelligence. I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and here on AI Core, I analyze tools, strategies, and real opportunities for people who want to save time, produce better content, automate businesses, and create channels with more intelligence. For a long time, producing content on YouTube was a heavy operation. You had to think of the topic, write the script, record, edit, create the thumbnail, write the description, publish, cut clips, post on other platforms, analyze data, think of the next video, and repeat everything again. And if you wanted to do this at scale, you needed to hire people: an editor, a designer, a scriptwriter, a channel manager, someone for social media, someone for analytics, someone for automation. And suddenly, what looked like freedom became a business full of costs, meetings, and problems. But now there is a silent shift happening. Tools like Claude Code are showing that one person alone can start executing parts of this process much faster. And the most important thing is that we are not talking only about asking for ideas in a chat. We are talking about tools that can act. That is the central point. Traditional artificial intelligence responds. A well-configured agent executes. It can open files, organize information, create structures, run processes, fix errors, connect steps, analyze data, prepare materials, and do in minutes tasks that used to require hours or even days. Now, imagine this applied to YouTube. You have a published video. The tool can take the transcript and turn it into a post for another platform. It can generate clip ideas. It can create title variations. It can suggest improvements for the description. It can find patterns in the videos that performed better. It can organize a list of future topics. It can analyze where retention dropped. It can help transform a channel into a smarter operation. This is no longer just productivity. This is a structural change. Because when a task that used to require a specialist can now be done with the support of artificial intelligence, the cost drops, the time drops, the speed increases, and the small creator starts competing with a force that only bigger teams used to have. But here comes the point many people will misunderstand. Claude Code is not a magic wand. No tool is. The mistake many creators will make is thinking like this: if I automate scripting, editing, thumbnails, posting, descriptions, my channel will grow. But that is not how it works. Automation without strategy only produces more confusion. And this is very dangerous, because now it has become easy to produce a lot. But producing a lot does not mean producing something people want to watch. Producing a lot does not mean building trust. Producing a lot does not mean building a brand. Producing a lot does not mean monetizing better. In fact, producing a lot of bad content can even hurt how your channel is perceived. The audience notices when the video has no direction. They feel when the script sounds generic. They feel when the content was made only to fill space. They feel when the thumbnail promises one thing and the video delivers another. They feel when there is no clear opinion behind it. And YouTube also learns from that audience response. If people click and leave quickly, that is a signal. If nobody watches the next video, that is a signal. If the channel does not become a habit, that is a signal. If the content looks like everything else, that is a signal. So before getting excited about any tool, you need to understand the difference between production and direction. Production is doing more. Direction is knowing what is worth doing. And in the new YouTube, direction is more valuable than ever. Because if everyone has access to tools to edit, write, generate images, create voices, build thumbnails, and repurpose content, the difference will not be just pressing buttons. The difference will be knowing which idea deserves to become a video. That is the part that scares many creators. For years, production quality was an advantage. Whoever had a better editor looked more professional. Whoever had a better camera got more attention. Whoever knew how to create motion graphics stood out. Whoever had time to edit well moved ahead. Now, a large part of that is becoming more accessible. That does not mean quality no longer matters. It matters, but it is no longer the biggest barrier. And when the technical barrier falls, something else rises to the center of the game. The idea, the topic, the angle, the hook, the promise. The way you connect that topic to a real pain in the audience, that is the new wall. You can use Claude Code to accelerate production. You can use artificial intelligence to create clips. You can use tools to make thumbnails. You can use automation to publish. You can use agents to analyze data. But if the topic is weak, all of that will only accelerate a video nobody wanted to watch. And this is the truth many people avoid. The tool amplifies. It does not replace the right choice. If the idea is good, artificial intelligence can help take that idea further. If the idea is bad, artificial intelligence helps you waste energy faster. Now, think about the impact of this for faceless channels. Faceless channels can benefit a lot from this new phase because they do not depend on cameras, studios, daily recording, or physical presence. They can use digital characters, narration, animations, generated scenes, explainer videos, and repeatable structures. But faceless channels also have a huge risk: becoming a commodity. When anyone can make a similar video, the audience has no reason to remember you. When everyone uses the same voice, the same aesthetic, the same prompts, and the same script style, the channel disappears into the crowd. That is why a faceless channel needs an even stronger identity. It needs a character. It needs a style. It needs a clear promise. It needs an editorial line. It needs an opinion. It needs consistency. It needs to feel like a brand, not a factory of random videos. And here, tools like Claude Code can enter intelligently, not to remove the soul of the channel, but to remove the operational weight. You can use artificial intelligence to organize the process, to turn one long video into multiple pieces, to analyze data, to suggest future topics based on what already worked, to create title versions, to review descriptions, to build first drafts, to accelerate research. But the final decision must remain with you, because the most valuable part of a creator is not clicking, it is judging. Judging whether an idea is strong, judging whether the audience cares, judging whether the hook holds attention, judging whether the video delivers, judging whether the promise is clear, judging whether that content strengthens the brand or only fills space. That judgment is what separates an operator from a button presser, and that difference will become brutal in the coming years. The creator who only presses buttons will create a lot of content that looks like everything else. The creator who operates with strategy will use the same resources to build something recognizable, useful, and monetizable. Now let's talk about one of the biggest hidden opportunities in all of this: data analysis. Many creators still make decisions based on feeling. They think a topic will work. They think a thumbnail is good. They think the audience wants a certain subject. They think a video should have performed better. But YouTube does not reward feelings. It rewards behavior. If the audience clicks, stays, watches, comments, watches another video, and comes back, the channel gains strength. If the audience ignores, leaves quickly, or does not understand the proposal, the channel loses strength. With artificial intelligence, it becomes much easier to look at these signals. You can analyze which videos attract more people. Which titles create more curiosity? Which topics generate more retention? Which videos bring qualified subscribers? Which subjects have more monetization potential? Which formats can become a series? This changes how you create. Instead of thinking only about the next video, you start thinking about the next move. And when you think in moves, the channel stops being random. It becomes an operation. That is the big leap. The YouTube of the future will not be only a place for creative creators. It will be a place for strategic creators, people who combine strong ideas, fast execution, real data, and intelligent monetization. And artificial intelligence enters exactly at that point. It reduces the time between noticing an opportunity and publishing a piece of content. But there is one final trap. The easier it becomes to produce, the harder it becomes to stand out. This sounds contradictory, but it is real. When few people had the tool was the advantage. When everyone has the tool, strategy becomes the advantage. When everyone can generate beautiful images, the visual idea becomes the advantage. When everyone can create a script, the editorial vision becomes the advantage. When everyone can publish more, the choice of what not to publish also becomes an advantage. And here is a sentence you need to remember. In the new YouTube, what you decide not to create may be just as important as what you create. Because if you try to post about everything, the channel becomes confusing. If you chase every trend, you lose identity. If you copy every format, you become an echo. If you chase only volume, you lose depth. You need to know where you want to play. If your channel is about artificial intelligence for creators, you do not need to talk about every random new tool. You need to talk about what helps creators save time, produce better, monetize more, and build systems. If your channel is about productivity, you do not need to test every app. You need to show what truly changes the audience's routine. If your channel is about digital business, you do not need to chase every tool of the week. You need to connect tools with real results. That clarity protects the channel. And now I will deliver the point I promised at the beginning. The one thing Claude Code, artificial intelligence, automation, and no agent can solve alone. The choice of the right idea. That is the heart of the game. You can automate production, but you cannot fully outsource the sensitivity of understanding what the audience wants right now. You can use data, you can use tools, you can use analysis, you can use artificial intelligence to find patterns, but you still need to understand the emotion behind the click. Why would this person click now? What fear does this topic touch? What desire does it activate? What opportunity does it reveal? What problem does it solve? What question does it open? If you cannot answer that, the tool will only produce content without strength. And this is the rule that separates those who will grow from those who will only look busy. Before automating execution, validate direction. Validate the topic. Validate the angle. Validate the promise. Validate the hook. Validate whether that video has a real reason to exist. Then use artificial intelligence to accelerate. That order matters. If you accelerate before validating, you create noise. If you validate before accelerating, you create advantage. And that advantage can be huge. Imagine two creators using the same tools. Both use Claude Code. Both use artificial intelligence for scripts. Both use editing tools. Both use automation. Both publish often. One chooses topics by guessing. The other chooses topics based on real audience signals. After a few months, the difference is massive. Not because one has a better tool, but because one has a better decision system. That is the future. It is not only who uses artificial intelligence, it is who uses artificial intelligence inside an intelligent process. So if you want to start now, keep it simple. Look at your niche. Find which pains are getting stronger. See which questions appear repeatedly. Analyze which videos are growing. Observe which promises hold attention. Think of angles that have not been explored yet. Then turn that into a series of videos with a clear identity. Use Claude Code and other tools to accelerate the repetitive parts, but keep your attention on strategy. because strategy is what prevents your channel from becoming just one more. If you want to test artificial intelligence tools to create videos, analyze data, build automations, create characters, and accelerate production, use the tools I mentioned in the description. But enter with the right mindset. Do not buy tools to look productive. Use tools to build a system. The new game is not creator against artificial intelligence. The new game is creator with system against creator without system. And that difference will only get bigger. The creator without a system will always be tired, always late, always improvising, and always blaming the algorithm. The creator with a system will learn from every video, transform data into decisions, use artificial intelligence as leverage, and build a channel that grows with more clarity. That is the shift. Claude Code will not destroy YouTube. Artificial intelligence will not end good creators. But these tools will destroy the old way of producing, without process, without data, and without direction. Those who understand this early will operate with an advantage. Those who ignore it will feel like they are working more and more to achieve less and less. Here on AI Core, I will keep following this change closely, because many tools will be sold as miracles, many promises will be exaggerated, and many real opportunities will go unnoticed by those who do not know how to analyze them. My role here is to separate noise from strategy. And the final message is simple. Artificial intelligence can do many things for you, but it cannot replace clarity. It can accelerate your production, but it cannot save a weak idea. It can organize your operation, but it cannot build identity if you do not know what you want to communicate. So before chasing the next tool, solve the foundation. Which audience do you want to help? Which problem do you want to solve? What promise does your channel deliver? Which idea deserves to become a video? And how does this content turn into trust and revenue? When you answer that, artificial intelligence becomes power. When you do not answer that, it becomes distraction. The future does not belong to those who automate everything without thinking. It belongs to those who use artificial intelligence with strategy.